want my client here?
I don't have any preference, so it's up to your clients. If they want to.
She wants to be here for the jury. Are we not letting the press in, or what's the purpose of this moment?
I assumed everybody was already in. You can go ahead and let them in.
Chris Palmer's just explaining some things to
Oh, he's just going through the guidelines? Okay. Thank you. And just to verify with the court TV and with the AP reporter, or the AP photographer, if you could listen to me for just a minute. No, I mean, I know this goes without saying, but no pictures of the jury.
Understood, Your Honor.
Thank you.
So no objection to bringing in the audience if you want.
And
They're not coming in. Chris Palmer's.
they're just being briefed right now. Jody, are you okay?
Oh, yes, I'm fine.
Okay. All right, I think we've got everyone in here that wants to come in. If you could be seated, and I'd like to just say a few things before we call the jury in. There is a verdict in the case. I think you've all been told that. Before the jury enters, I just want to say a few things that I say in every case. The court appreciates that this has been a long and difficult trial for the parties and their counsel, and that emotions may be running high. The court reminds everyone that there should be no outward reaction when the verdict is read, and that these proceedings are not over until the court has been adjourned. Most importantly, and regardless of the verdict, the jury has sacrificed more than 8 days of their time to serve, and they are entitled to be shown the same courtesy and respect that they have been shown throughout these proceedings. I want to remind the people that are all here that there are strict orders that are in place concerning the use of phones, cameras, recording devices, unless you've been approved, and there are only 2 people in here that have been approved for capturing anything by video, by audio, or by still, you should not use your cell phone or any other device that might capture those things. Thank you. Ready for the jury? And I have been impressed with how well everyone has been throughout this proceeding, so thank you all. For those that are arriving late, there's no use of any recording devices at all. Thank you. For the record, the jury is now in the courtroom and the parties are present with their attorneys. Would the foreperson that the jury has selected please stand and state your number?
Number 19.
Thank you. Has the jury reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
Will you please hand it to the bailiff, and the bailiff will bring it to me? Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you. We'll now have the clerk read the verdict. You can just read the question and then the answer.
Was Gwyneth Paltrow at fault? No. Was Gwyneth Paltrow's fault a cause of Terry Sanderson's harm? Oh, no, skip that.
There's just no response there.
Okay. Was Terry Sanderson at fault? Yes. Was Terry Sanderson's fault a cause Gwyneth Paltrow's? Did Terry Sanderson's fault cause Gwyneth Paltrow's harm? Yes. Comparative fault. What percent of the fault do you assign to Terry Sanderson? 100%. Damages. What amount fairly compensates Gwyneth Paltrow for economic damages? $1. Signed March 30th, 2023.
Thank you. So to juror number 19, the foreperson, is this your verdict?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And the attorneys have asked that I poll the jury, and so I need to ask each one of you if this is your verdict. This is not an unusual thing to happen. It happens quite often. So number 16, is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Number 11, is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Number 8, is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Number 2, is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
I've already covered number 19. Number 28, is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Number 29, is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
And number 32, is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. So to the attorneys, is there anything further before I discharge the jury?
Nothing for the plaintiff, Your
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you to jurors.
Let me just read you the last jury instruction. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this trial is finished. Thank you for your service. The American system of justice relies on your time and your sound judgment, and you have been generous with both. You serve justice by your fair and impartial decision. I hope you found the experience rewarding. You may now talk about this case with anyone you like. You may be contacted by the press or by the lawyers. You do not have to talk to them or with anyone else, but you may. The choice is entirely yours. I turn now to the lawyers and to the press and ask them to honor your wishes if you say that you do not want to talk about the case. If you do decide to talk about the case, please respect the privacy of your fellow jurors. The confidences that they may have shared with you while deliberating are not yours to share with others. Again, thank you for your service. You may now retire. And if everybody else would please remain here, we've got some things to do.
All rise for the jury.
May be seated. So I've got a few things I'm going to do with the parties, and then I'm going to ask everyone who's still in the courtroom at that point to remain seated while the parties leave. So anyone who wants to be outside when the parties leave, please do that now. So, Mr. Owens, I'm looking to you to prepare a judgment on the jury verdict.
Perfect.
Will you do that?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Sykes, is there anything further for the court before the court adjourns?
No, my client just wants to say thank you to Your Honor for the effort you made to, okay? That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Owens, is there anything further from the defense before the court adjourns?
No, thank you, Judge, and to all your staff and the bailiffs.
Let me just comment that I appreciate the professionalism that all the attorneys have shown and the parties, so thank you. This court is now adjourned. Thank you.
Let my client slip out before.
Yes, everyone remain seated while the parties leave.
I'm going to make a quick statement. Ms. Paltrow is not going to be making a statement today.
So you can make the statement outside, Mr. Owens.
I will do that.
Okay. All right, we're now adjourned.
7 years in the making now, a long time. How does it feel that is there some conclusion now? Is there closure? Just how are you feeling about that?
It takes too long to get to this point to get closure like that. It will be a while to get back to my life again.
You put a lot out, and this was national attention, a lot of people watching, a lot of your personal life just out there. How is all of that making you feel now?
Well, we joked about it a bit. It's so much for dating sites, right? There's way too much information out there for me, and so, yeah, I'll start over again and spend more time with family.
Anything else you want to add about, all of this, kind of what's next, what this means to you?
Well, I like the term that he used, we fought the good fight. We worked very hard on this. It's hard to try a case. It's a lot of evidence. A lot of things happen that we don't agree with, but that happens in every trial, okay? But Terry conducted himself nobly. He kept his cool, he stayed with us, he helped us. We're grateful for that. So he's a good man.
So is there anything you would redo or do differently in retrospect?
Well, I rethink a little bit about how I could be characterized. That's a real disappointment that it wasn't just about the facts of the accident, was it? There were things brought up like anxiety, which I got a prescription for in '91, and I refilled it one time a few months ago for this trial, enough for 12 days in '91. But that stays in your record as having that issue for the rest of your life. And there were many of those kinds of things that, no, I'm not that crazy person. I think that I listened to that whole thing about how I was characterized, and it wasn't just about the accident, was it? It's about the character. They drugged that character in there. And, yeah, I wish I could have that back. But when you go down this, I didn't realize that when you go down this row, I thought it'd be about a ski accident that I knew I had the truth, the absolute facts, and it wasn't about that. It turned out it was about the narrative about the life I've lived, things said that absolutely were not true, and I'll never get a chance to change that.
Did Gwyneth Paltrow say something to you as she left?
She did. I wish you well, she said to me.
That was very
She
kind.
meant it.
Yeah,
Very nice,
I
very
think she
kind.
did. Yeah.
And, the jury found 100% fault for you. How do you reconcile that with all your injuries and everything that you've been through?
Well, obviously I missed somewhere in communicating the issues I have, and I didn't get a chance to talk about many of the other issues. One of those I call the walk of shame. You walk to the fridge and you go, why am I here? What if you did that all day long? What if it was like the very next thing you did, you turned and did something else and went, why did I do that? And I remember putting on double the miles, triple the miles of what I should have walked in a day by just back and forth and undoing and redoing. So those kinds of issues are very real. In fact, I'll tell you a cute story if you don't mind. You get so down on yourself if you're doing that all the time, going from walk of shame to walk of shame, why am I here, what am I doing, that I read about the invention of the dog clicker by a husband and his wife who used it to train seals and penguins and such, and now dogs, and condition them to a good response. And so I told one of my daughters, I think I need a dog clicker. I need to be reminded of the good things. I'm losing track of that. And I got a little gift in the mail with a little tag said, good boy. And I clicked that clicker, and it got, after 2 weeks, what's amazing is that you don't need to click the clicker. All you have to do is think about, I'm going to get the clicker and click it, and the goodness is done. The good hormones, the dopamine is running in your brain, and so it worked. It helped me get me out of the doldrums when I was having these issues, and I still do. I got it out the other day again.
So once and for all,
Yes,
One
ma'am.
last question.
okay, the GoPro video. Is there a GoPro video?
There never was. If there was, I would have locked that thing up behind security because it would have shown the absolute truth that I wished for, and we tried to encourage it to come out of the woodwork, and it never did. Never had one. It actually is a link to the lady who saved me and got me off the mountain, who came, Whitney, and got me. It was a link to that and said, here's a witness, an eyewitness, meaning she was an eyewitness to what I left, what condition I left in. And And I just praised her, sang her praises for getting me off the mountain.
Thanks,
Can I
folks.
ask one more quick question?
That's it, one more.
Okay, what do you want people to, who are watching this trial, who know what was happening, what do you want them to be able to take away at the end of this?
The takeaway is the preparation for this by the attorneys, by the team of people, and the time they invested in this, that you don't see them doing, is so significant. They get so vested in this. And of course, I participate in that too. And it's a huge expense of your personal energy going in that direction. So you got a lot committed to that. And so that's all the work you don't see. And for 7 years, we haven't just been sitting around. There's been lots of work to do. So you look back on that and you go, well, I'm not so sure we got the outcome we wanted. It doesn't feel like the effort. I should have gotten the Olympic Games, we would have gotten some medal, like a silver or something, right? But no, it didn't work out that way.
That's it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
It's nice.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for your kindness.
time.
Thank
Good
you for
luck.
your
Thank
kindness.
you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
Bob,
Thank you.
you tried to be nice. Proud of yourself.
One of the ones that get that.
See you later.
Get your best shot, man. It was a nice shot with the remaining of the territory. Outside?
Yeah.
Who's out there? Is it Sport TV out there?
Yeah.
Well, Did she stop and talk to you? No, she said, what do you think?
Yeah.
Lots of things.
Where's
Lots of things.
That's four, but this is.
No, you're good.
Oh,
you got it already? Did you guys
No, we didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
We're good?
It's
Okay.
just the press email. For...
You okay? Okay.
Hey, what's
Can you start handing those out?
Steve, can you step up a little bit?
Yeah.
okay?
So there's an email slip where you're going to get a longer statement, but this is a 3-sentence statement.
There's James. Are you reading a statement?
3 sentences.
Okay.
Any further statements will be through this email. We're pleased with this outcome and appreciate the judge and jury's thoughtful consideration and handling of the case. Gwyneth has always had a history of advocating for what she believes in, and this statement was no different. And she will continue to stand up for what is right. Any further statements will be made through an email, press@harmonyhouse.com.
Steve, we just went live on the air. Could you read that statement again, please?
Yeah, since I botched it.
One more time, for the record. Steve Owens, attorney.
This is James.
for
The only
thing
you botched today,
for
Steve,
Gwyneth
so-
Paltrow, James
You're
Deacon,
okay. Come here,
also attorney for Paltrow.
We're pleased with this outcome and appreciate the judge and jury's thoughtful handling of this case. Gwyneth has a history of advocating for what she believes in. This situation was no different, and she will continue to stand for what she believes is right. Thank you. Any further statements will be made through press@harmonyhouse.com. Thanks, everyone.
Did you have a conversation with her after
Sure.
today, and what did she say to you?
Thumbs up. Very happy.
Okay.
Easy for a second.
Yeah, you good? Sorry, I'm sorry.
attorney for Gwyneth Paltrow, a 3-sentence statement this afternoon.
Yeah.
You've given us a email address.
When I talk to
Oh, they don't. She didn't say anything. Because they questioned you.
they do? Okay.
The jury's part of they're not going to come back with it. They do. He was asked. Come on. Do I feel like I let you down? So the resources that celebrities have, and those. Okay. We did it.
We're not done yet.
What are we going to do?
The Q&A.
At what time?
I'm asking.
Deer Valley is also let me put this off my. Taken out of the case,
Yeah.
Paltrow solely for $300,000. But we understand the economic damages could actually be higher than that. The players, the figures in this trial who
You got it first. Apparently you did say.
Okay, well, no, we got it. Wait.
I got both of them. I got them both.
No, we didn't Terry saying it.
Oh.
No, I thought it was because she had.
Well, we tweeted it out. Because Alex, people were tweeting from the station because they were watching. For the record, Q&A standby.
At what time?
No idea.
Well, if I need to go by my